What are you doing here? Okay, there we are. All right, fixed it. All right, folks, let's see who joins us. Oh, the delay is real. Hey, alive and kicking. Yeah, man, again. Guess what we got? We have got the Ozark Trail Knife from Wally World. This is the one I had to grind up and fix, and we're going to go in on the blade and see how well it do. So, yeah. Folk, what's up? Yeah, we're taking a look at the cheapo Walmart knife, the Ozark Trail that I had to grind up and fix. So first things first, let's get a baseline. Yeah, this is exclusive to Walmart, so this is definitely a USA knife. Unless you have Walmart out there in your neck of the woods, but you still had to catch this around Christmas because they aren't selling them anymore. But these had a ton of hype when they came out, when they dropped these, so it took about 3-4 months to find them. They were just not at any Walmart near me, so this one was also really bad. I had to take it apart and grind out the channel right here that the axis lock rides in to make it work right. When they stamped this thing out, they did a terrible, terrible job. Everyone had that problem. But let's get a look at this factory edge here. So good solid edge. I remember it felt better out of the box, and I haven't used this for anything, but that's still a good edge. So we're going to start feeding it cardboard here and see how it do. All right, Fook. Yeah, I'll definitely see you a bit later. So this thing is probably under Ganzo quality, but it was only $5. That's what sold these things. It's a $5 knife with an axis lock, so you can do the axis lock close and open. So that's what sold these things. The other one that I was able to get, it's a different model, was actually a lot better than this one. It's just this one had quality issues, and everybody that bought one had them. And when I got this, a lot of guys that were doing videos on it would just take it out of the box and they'd open it, they'd close it, and then open it and say, "Yeah, this is great. Buy one for your friends," and not actually use it and not actually test it. And if they would have done a few seconds worth of looking, ace, then they would have known this thing had problems. So, Rich, we're taking in we're going in on the Ozark Trail Knife right here, the one that I had to grind to fix. So we're about to feed it some cardboard. What you getting into today, Rich? That's a nice cut. Yeah, so the $5 is definitely for a beater knife. That's part of why we're doing this, is to see how well the steel on a $5 knife holds up, or the edge, I should say, the factory edge. Like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna hold up all right, but the packaging, I'll check that out. The packaging on this gave no indication as to what the blade steel is, so it's probably 420 HC or 3CR or something like that. So we gonna find out how it do. Yeah, I have yet to pick up a Vosti. Like, they've been on my list to grab one of, but I haven't gotten one yet. Too many other things came up, and then, right now I'm on the struggle bus, so I'm not buying anything new for a minute. So we're clearing out the rest of the backlog, and Once I get those done, I'll look and see if I can buy something new to do videos on, or figure out how to get more videos out of my collection. It's amazing how hard it is to do this when you're on a really, really tight budget. Jeez, this thing is cutting nice. Yeah, it's definitely a nice access lock, not locking mechanism for $5. There's a different one with a blue pivot collar on it that's a lot better than this one. They messed it up when they made this one, and massive quality control issue, and they let that quality control issue go for the entire production run. Rich, I will get a Vosteed. It's just going to be a while. It's again the money issue, sir. And yeah, so I've got a frame lock and 2 axis locks, and I like the axis locks well enough. The frame lock ain't necessarily the best in the world. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that one. It works. It meets my requirements for carry, and I could definitely use it and beat on it, but it ain't that great. I am scattering cardboard all over the floor. Oh, let me grab the next live stream's knife to show you. It's some gas station goodness. So the next live stream that's probably going to be on Sunday, we're going in on this gas station-y goodness, and we already did the painted knife from Temu, so I want to see how well this coating holds up. It's not anodizing, and it's definitely some kind of paint-like coating. It may actually be paint, but I doubt it. I want to see how much we wear that out in a few hours. And I'd love to pick up some more of the Ozark Trail folders, but nothing besides the 3 that I have, and I think the one that I couldn't get, the blue axis lock, were tip up carry. And if it ain't tip up, I'm just not going to carry it. So those things are just kind of relegated to, I ain't buying it. Like, I do check every so often to see if they got some new ones in that are tip up that I would buy. But so far, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's just the entire production run. I haven't talked to a single person except maybe one that got these that didn't have the same issue I had. And it's just because this channel was not cleaned out properly. It wasn't stamped out right. So it wouldn't let the axis lock do what it was supposed to. Like, if you saw the videos, I took it apart at least 3 times, getting it on the grinder to make it work right. I will say, though, this blade geometry is cutting real good. The edge is cutting real good. I mean, everything else about it seems to be, you know, quite good, actually. Like, it's a hell of a time to be a knife guy. You can get stuff similar to this for $5. You know, if I could have found the other one I have with the blue pivot collar for the original Super Budget Showdown, that thing probably would have landed in 3rd place. It's still not quite a match for the Crescent tools. It's still not a match for the Duratech, but it still is quite good. I'm actually carrying that one right now at work for review. So that'll be the next review I do, which that probably end up being Monday. Yeah, like the thing is they don't sell them anymore. They were like a holiday thing only, which I don't understand why. Like they should have had these in with the regular Ozark Trails year round, and they should have had that blue one that's kind of like the, it's similar to the Benchmade Griptilian. They should have had that one sold by itself, and they need to have them like year round. God, this thing is cutting nice. Like this is cutting about as good as the Opinel did. I am surprised. Oh, Punisher, did you see next week's, or like I'm doing another live stream on Sunday while I'm off work, and I think that might be the day that I have to, maybe closing on Monday. If I am, then I'm gonna have to stay up late as hell anyways. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be a stream just to help keep me occupied and not sitting there bored as hell for the whole night. And you'll be in for a bit of a surprise. The next live stream's knife is tip down because I bought it before I started buying exclusively tip up knives. Yeah, I mean, if you can't, you can't. It's not a big deal, but we got this right here. It's a Schrade. And I do like Schrade. I got a soft spot for them, but I want to see whether or not we can wear this coating out like the Temu knife did. It's not anodized. It's some kind of coating. I don't think it's paint. So that may be it's definitely too cheap for Cerakote. It's got to be. I'm not sure exactly what that coating is. I'm not sure what I paid for it either. Yeah, it might be powder coating, but I think this is like a $13 knife. Yeah. I have yet to figure out how to carry a sword tip up, but I think the knife was like 13 bucks, something like that. So like, I can't see where it would be worth the time to powder coat it or worth the money to powder coat it. Like that's extra cost for no reason. All right, so that's one box quadrant down. Let's see how the edge do now. Oh wow. Uh-oh. Don't tell me it already doesn't like cutting paper. Okay, so it's not significantly worse than it was when I started on the factory edge. Sorry, but my preferred tip down announcement is living in sin. That's how I go about that. I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. However, sword carry may come up at some point if I blank out and absent-minded. Yeah, I've got a few Schrade folders. But of course, I've done multiple videos on the 470T, the Beast, which is what gave me my big soft spot for Schrade. So yeah, this edge is starting to show a little bit of wear pretty damn quickly. So we may be stropping this back to life sooner rather than later. Of course, we got this nice beefy double layer stuff to go in on. Let's see how well it holds up to this. It's still cutting okay. Like there's a good bit of resistance, but there's not really more resistance than the Opinel had. I'm a little surprised that it's already showing like it's not much edge wear, it's just a little bit, but I am kind of surprised it showed up that fast. Normally they take about 2 more of those box sessions before they start showing significant wear. And even then the wear stops at knocking off the fine point. From what I can tell, I'm knocking off the really fine apex, and so it's going to a little bit more of an obtuse apex, and then it just stays at that one spot for the rest of the session. So what I want to see is Ozark Trail to drop more axis locks, but I want them to be on bearings. Bearings is what's going to blow people's minds. That's what's going to set the hype train off all over again. And again, these axis locks need to be like year round. They need to not be just around Christmas. That's stupid. Like honestly, they could rotate out the rest of their knives and replace them with these and you know, some better flipper tabs. But if they keep the price down to $5 and they put bearings in there, that's going to be what sets the hype train off. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. Tim, what's up, dude? We are testing out the edge wear on this Ozark Trail axis lock, seeing how it doing, just shooting the breeze, man. What you getting into today, Tim? You know, I think they might actually be able to drop S35VN for like 40, maybe $50. It seems like the price on that is dropping just like every other steel when nicer and nicer steels drop or show up, like LMAX and all that, drives the price of the lower tier super steels down. This is holding up okay. It's been through like one of these so far, just part of a box, and it's already showing some edge wear. It's a little bit faster than they normally do, but I'm looking to see if it just stays at that 1 point for the rest of the night. Oh, well, definitely. Hey, Tim, I appreciate it. The live stream just started, so I haven't really put a whole lot of wear and tear on this thing yet. Like, we're going in on it. Yeah, I've got a knife on my Amazon wish list. It's like $30 that claims to be S35VN. I'm not sure how valid that is, but of course I also don't have a way to check and see if it actually is S35VN. I'm not sure how I do that without destroying it. I don't have really a hardcore enough testing system that I've figured out yet. I think I may take a piece of wood and just do this with the knives and see how many of those it takes to really dull them out. That might get me where I want to go. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen, but Jesus Christ, people would lose their minds. The titanium, that's a bit of a stretch, just because of how much effort it takes to machine that and work it. But I always wonder, like, you know, some of these super steels, is it really the price of the steel itself that's driving that, or is it just the price of saying it has it, you know? You're just paying a tax on it just because it is a super steel. You know, like I've seen some super steels for stupid cheap, and you know, it's come up that some of them can be had for that low of a price, but you know, I don't know enough about what's going on behind the scenes for that. Yeah, it's already showing some wear. Good God. It is definitely not coming like I did. Yeah, the name on the box is definitely part of the issue right there. It's just, you know, the other part of what you're paying for is definitely the heat treatment, and you know, because I know some of those super steels have really complicated heat treatments. Yeah, man, definitely get back to work. The replay may not show up right now. They're stuck on private because I'm under 1,000 subs. but I will do a follow-up video on this in a few days here, so you will get to see how it held up. I'm gonna strop it as much as I can before that video, but yeah, you will see it. But yeah, like I know it's been said with a lot of guys that know more about knives than I do, that you're paying for the heat treatment as much as anything else, because there are steels that have really, really, really complicated heat treatments on them. Man, have a good one, Tim. Yo, what up, Rich? Like, I've seen guys like, you know, I've followed some knife makers. I've tried to make some knives, and I've had to look up heat treatments on certain steels just to see if I could mess with them, like some of the stainless stuff. And good God, the heat treatment can get really crazy on it. Like, you know, there's a lot of them out there. You got to have a heat treating oven, a dedicated oven with all the timers and stuff on it. You've got to have like stuff that can drop down to, you know, dry ice levels of cold that you can keep them in. And then even then you got to have a timer to raise the temperature at a certain rate. Like it gets crazy. Now, one thing that I'm curious to see, like we see every night is, or every live stream, is how many people drop by, like take a look and don't really know what the point behind this is, and then drop. I will say I am quite happy that we surpassed my my old channel. Like my old channel is stuck at 807 subscribers, and that's partly because it's a dead channel. I haven't uploaded anything except a video telling the guys what I'm doing on YouTube now on my other channel. But yeah, we hit 810, and then I mentioned it on the last video I did about the 3CR, and then someone dropped like, all right, cool. I guess they wanted to try to help out for about a day. Yeah, like, you know, that definitely dictates the end user cost, and when you're dealing with like, you know, handmade you know, or stuff you have to work by hand, like titanium scales, stuff like that. Like not even necessarily hand work, but you do have to like get your CNC set up. You got to do all the work, and like if you watch AVE, he goes through and does a lot of stuff on a CNC controlled mill that he picked up with Patreon dollars, and going through what it takes to get that thing set up and running right, and how many times you really got to go through and redo the setup after a couple of test crashes. Like, it is amazing what it takes to get that set up. Like, it makes me a little jealous. I wish I knew how to use CAD, but that's not where I'm at. That's not what I'm doing right now. I know at one point my dad was pushing me to learn CAD somehow, and you know, I definitely didn't have the money for taking classes or anything like that back then. I was like post-divorce and jobless. But you know, he seemed to think that, you know, it's still the 1970s where you can walk in and just say, hey, I want a job, can you train me? And they'll train you on, you know, complicated stuff. Like, we know that don't happen no more. Them days are long gone. Man, this thing does not like making this cut on here. We're gonna wait for a little while to strop. It just doesn't like this cut, and I'm not 100% sure why. Like, we're definitely holding off on the strop for as long as possible. Yeah, I don't know what caused that. Yeah. Oh, if you check out Dies in Every Film's Customs, Dies in Every Film got a plasma table, and what you do with that one is you draw the picture of what you want on paper, and then you put it under the scanner and it scans it, and then it programs itself to cut whatever it was you drew the picture of. Like, I am so insanely jealous of that. Like, that is nuts. Like, one of the first things that I thought of was basically making signs to go in shops. Like, Rich, you could use something like that to add some decorative steel work to the wood lighting and stuff that you make. But yeah, I would love to have one of those to screw around with, even though I know I'd use it for probably about 6 weeks, and then it would sit there and gather dust until, you know, I got hyper fixed. Yeah, water's better. But the plasma, that table, again, you can draw what you want it to cut. It'll scan it and then cut that. Like that's nuts. And I mean, honestly, water or plasma is gonna be good for what you need it to. It lets you do anything with flat work. I know for a water jet, right? Like, those CNC wood tables are nuts. But, you know, water jets, if you spend a crap ton of money, can do 5-axis cutting, which is definitely handy if you have a need for it. Oh, dude, that is nice. Royalty, I have no idea what that is, brother. Okay, we're just gonna... I wish I could translate that to English on the fly, but I can't. Yeah, so I'm waiting to find out where he's from. I wish I could translate that, but nothing that I have on me right now is able to translate that to English, unfortunately. I wish I could. That's definitely not Spanish. Now, one time it might be, I think that's what it is. Now, one time I did make a Mjolnir out of some really, really nice walnut, and I did a hidden handle on it. So basically, you go in the bottom and you carve out the hole for the hammer eye, but you only carve it part way in and do your beveling on the inside of it. And then you hammer the wedge and the top of the handle in there, you know, and glue it up. And you got a hidden handle on it. And it had I believe I used a hickory handle that broke in an earlier project and shaved that down and charred it. And that thing was absolutely gorgeous. And I gave it to a friend of mine. He was doing a lot of finer woodworking than I've ever done. And I think he said he didn't have a mallet for his chisels or anything. So it's like, all right, here you go. I have no idea what... I would have been interested to see how much that could have sold for, but you know, I made that with him in mind. And I plan at some point on making one for myself with either Purple Heart or Red Heart. Because like those Purple Heart, Red Heart, and there's one more, like... But yeah, like Purple Heart and Red Heart are definitely my favorite woods. And like Purple Heart, when you cure it out with the heat and the light, just comes out amazing. That nice purple color. However, I will tell you right now, you do not want to use Purple Heart for a hammer handle. I've got one, and I need to grind on it some more to flare the handle a bit. Yeah, it'd be funny if this is self-sharpening, but it's not. Like I said, it didn't like that one cut. Cheeto Rockspin, how you doing, man? You know, it hated that one cut, and I'm not sure why it hated it so much. All right, so we've gotten through our next wall of cardboard. Yeah, this one, I think the head was about yay big. Like, it was really good for a small mallet. I'm definitely proud of that one. I've got pictures of it somewhere. Okay, so it liked that. I may have had adhesive stuck to this thing from the last couple of box cuts. Come on. And of course, I struggle holding the paper just right for those cuts too. But I think I knocked some adhesive off, and that's what turned this thing around and got it to make that cut so nicely. Like, wow. Oh, that's 2 layers of cardboard. That's why it won't cut. You're getting cut, you son of a bitch. One way or another. Take that. Yeah, one project I really wanted to do, and I didn't get a chance to, I almost did, is I wanted to make a Damascus hammer with a purple heart handle and a red heart wedge in the handle, or maybe some Osage orange. And the only caveat to that is I needed a hydraulic press. And one of my buddies, he's like, yeah, let's do that, whenever I floated the idea. And then when I went to come down there and actually do it, he shot it down because he's like, we don't have a way to polish that up. I was like, I absolutely do have a way to polish that up and get it ready to etch. I just need the hydraulic press to do it. And he just didn't want to. I know at one point he had tried to make a Damascus hammer from a billet that Tim over at Big Dog Forge made, but that one had a delamination in it, so it wound up not being able to be given away or sold. So it's sitting at his house. May or may not be getting used right now, but I would have absolutely loved to have made that. It's like I had everything figured out for it. I had the steel for it, all the things. And I tried to do it myself with just a hammer, and I still wasn't really totally clear on the Damascus process. I'd made some pieces, but they were small. And I didn't realize I hadn't let this billet that was huge get to fully heated all the way through. So it didn't stick together worth of crap. And that chunk of steel is still sitting in the garage somewhere. I think maybe if I got some muriatic acid and let it soak for a while, maybe I could get it cleaned up and use the pieces for smaller projects, but you know, that'll be later if I get back in the shop again, which I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine. They've basically a buddy of mine, he passed away about a month ago, I think now, and he had done something he had always wanted to do and got a, oh, Bulgarian, okay. But he got himself a vet clinic off the ground and going. It was his, and he had a really cool thing. Like, you go into the waiting room and it's all DC and Marvel superheroes. You know, there's the neon lights in there. There's like the Funko Pops. There's like the wall with the reception desk had a bunch of Funko Pops on the front of it, and then the top of it was glass over Zero Bytes 2000. What's up? You know, and it was really cool, really cool. But an offer got floated to maybe run the locations for them if they got multiple locations up and running, which is interesting. And having a job that's not so physically demanding and on such a screwy schedule might actually let me get back into the shop and start making stuff again, and starting to experiment like that, because that messed up piece of steel. Yeah, it sucks. The older you get, the more that happens. And it was like one of those friends I didn't get to talk to all that often. Yeah, like you gotta be the right person or have a ton of money to get Titanic steel. There is a company called Caviar that makes these insanely expensive, like $10,000 to $120,000 cell phones. These are cell phones, and they're not even smartphones. They are number pad and like tiny LCD screen phones. And some of those do have pieces of metal from the Titanic in the back of the phone case, in the back of the phone shell, and they're under glass. Like, they make stuff like that all the damn time. It is mind blowing. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'd feel about playing with World Trade Center steel. Like, Titanic, you can't really say too soon on that. It didn't happen during my lifetime, so it is definitely a more of a historical thing than anything else. But I don't know how I'd feel about playing with WTC steel. Like, and I still to this day remember exactly where I was and exactly what was happening when that went down. And I will tell you right now, a military base is not where you want to be when 9/11 happens. And no, I wasn't in the military. I was working for a civilian contractor handling all the civil service stuff on the base. Communications, motor pool, roads and grounds, which I was roads and grounds, like all that. Yeah, those Caviar phones are definitely rich people shit. Like, if someone's got some if someone can pop open Chrome and check out the Caviar phone website, like, take a look at that and come back and tell us how absolutely mind-blown you are at how crazy those phones are. And I'm a little disappointed. I pulled out a red LED strip to line the end of this thing just to make it more visually interesting. And this thing lights up, but you can't really see the light the way it's supposed to be seen on camera because of the ring light. Oh, I'd love a 1911 like that. Like, I get it. If you can get the steel, it's cool to make stuff with. It's just, that's a little bit weird for me personally. And it's too soon. It happened in my lifetime, So it's not quite, an old history piece. Like, I get it. It was like 23 years ago, which it doesn't feel like it was 23 years ago. It feels like it was 5 years ago. But I do love me a good 1911. Oh, it's starting to have a hard time cutting now. Oh, those guns are going to be stupid expensive. I can't even imagine what they're going to be like when they hit the secondary market. What I really want is a government-issued World War II 1911. One of those would be amazing to have, but I think they're running out of those to sell to begin with. Oh yeah, no, it's not that the LED doesn't work. It's that the ring light here is too bright for the LEDs to show up the way they're supposed to. Like they're bright as hell sitting on the floor in a pile over here. It's just they don't show up on the camera. Maybe I can throw them over here and they'll be low enough that yeah, you can see them flashing now. Yeah, we'll just throw them right there. Yeah, like they show up there, but oh god. There we go. Maybe that'll show up a little bit. Yeah, like they're flashing down there. You can see it down there, but on this table, you can't see them. Oh, dude, Harbor Freight. I love Harbor Freight because I haven't had any problems with the tools that they've sold me. My favorite thing is they had at one point an angle grinder that was $14, and with the 40% off thing, I could get them for like $9. When I went to Quad State, which is basically a blacksmithing convention, it's basically a big ass outdoor blacksmithing convention, and a buddy of mine, he had his angle grinder from work that they took back from him. I guess they found out he was using it off the clock, so he didn't have an angle grinder, and he was on the struggle bus all the way. So while I was there, I bought myself. They had two different models of the $14 angle grinder made by I think two different groups of people. I wanted both models, so I dropped by. I found the one I was looking for, and then I grabbed a second one for him. And you know, those angle grinders took nearly constant use whenever I was in the shop working and doing blacksmithing stuff, just cutting up chunks of steel. And yeah, my studio lighting needs some help. My studio also needs some help, but you know, right now I'm set up as good as I'm gonna get, which, all things considered, I think I'm doing really good for spending $30 on a ring light and not spending another penny on getting the filming stuff set up. I am looking forward to being able to film in landscape mode at some point here, but from what I understand, you gotta have over 1,000 subs to do the landscape mode filming on a live. So that's gonna be a little while. Like, I know, yeah, we're gonna see how dull this thing got in just a minute here. Some of these cuts it's fine with, and some of them it doesn't like, and I think that may be an edge alignment issue more than anything else. Brother, it's okay. I need to get a lot of stuff in the house fixed. Like, my house is an absolute disaster. Just a combination of profound depression, becoming increasingly sedentary, and then now I'm too busy. Like, I burn myself up too much at work to really come home and do a lot of cleaning. So it's just been kind of getting more and more backed up. Yeah, I was hoping at some point one of my buddies could drive out. He was an electrician, and we planned on having him out here to kind of hang out and stay and enjoy like a week over here. And then I think the combination of his transportation and money for gas just kind of fell apart on him. So he ended up not coming out. But we were going to get like some tables built for the shop out of these institutional doors that I picked up. We were going to run some electricity through there the way it's supposed to be run, because right now my entire shop is running off of an extension cord, 2 extension cords running back there, the orange ones, just to get power in there. And it's not ideal, but it's what I've got to work with. Boy, y'all heard that squeak cutting the paper? Yeah, this thing is definitely getting really dull now. That cut is quite ragged. Let's try one more. Yeah, it's getting a little ragged, but, you know, for some reason, I can't quite get that cut right consistently. And of course, if I have a really, really sharp knife, it's no problem to do that. But, you know, something without an incredibly fine factory edge, of course, struggles to do that. But let's go in on a piece that we started on the last live stream and ran out of time. And we're going to wrap the stream up around 6 o'clock like usual, just because I have got to be getting myself to sleep so I can wake up at 2 a.m. to go into work. And I have been back and forth between opening and closing for the last week. Like I opened Saturday, and then I don't remember whether or not I opened on Monday, but then it switched over to closing. So I was going from going into work at 4 a.m. to going into work at like 3 p.m. and then staying until close. So basically, I was awake until the time I normally got up. So I'm hella tired and out of it. And then of course I'm opening tomorrow. And I think I might be opening on Monday. I think I am. But I really can't remember. Normally I do a better job remembering that stuff, but I've been just so tired for the last several days that my ability to give shits has kind of run out. Let's see. I just had that thing out too. I literally just used it to cut some tape. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still doing a little better than this one did. The edge it's holding is basically the same as this was. It's the same as the buck was. Like, it seems like we're basically getting the same edge retention out of everything. So at some point here, I need to pick one of my nicer knives to do this with better blade steel and go to town on it. And I'm gonna have to see what I've got. Like, I don't want to get into my S30V and my S35VN because I don't want to sharpen those back up. But I may have some 14C 28N. I'm pretty sure I got one of those. And I'm not sure what else. Like, before I knew about how close, and I mean how small the difference is between D2, 9CR, 8CR, OS8. Before I knew how small the difference was between those, you know, I'd be like, D2, this is a ton better. When it's really, it's close. There's not a lot separating it. So like a lot of my knives are D2. They're, you know, CR series, some 440s that I didn't know were 440s when I bought them. So I need to look and see what I can find and work with. And you know what we could do? I may put this off to the side. Is I've got that knife from Temu that was marked M390. So we can see if that holds an edge better than these have. Yeah, I need a lot of things, and I do need to start looking for better steels now that I know the difference. But we can take that M390 purple disgrace and run that and see how it does. If that holds its edge significantly longer than everything else has, one, I'll be blown away, and two, I might be closer to being convinced that it is M390. Like a $13 M390 that can hold its edge longer than anything else we've used so far. I would be absolutely delighted to find that. I still highly doubt it's M390. I think it's misrepresented 3CR or something like that. But it's Temu, so you have no clue what it actually is. Speaking of Temu, I think we're going to take a look at picking up a... Right? It might be 1CR4, for all we know. But We're looking at snagging a strop and diamond compound off of Temu to see how that does with stropping. I feel like that might be kind of interesting. His wife looked when I asked her to on my way out the door for work, and she said they have it and it's pretty cheap. She just wanted me to go through and pick out what I wanted. Oh yeah, no, like that's the same Tenacious that I got from Rich. Um, you know, at some point I am going to get a more premium Spyderco. I don't think it'll be a Tenacious. I'll probably look for something that is a little bit more on the high end side, like a paramilitary or something like that. But that's, again, I can't spend 100 plus bucks on it right now. And everything that I'm saving right now is going for the Blade Show 2024 fund. So that's what we're waiting on with that. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the diamond paste and strop from Temu. I'm really curious to see how they do. Like, I'm assuming the diamond paste is kind of diamond paste. The biggest thing you're going to worry about with that is the micron count not being consistent. Like, it may say 5 micron and you got like some 6, 7 micron pieces scattered through there. I don't know how big of a difference that would make overall. Okay, we've cut up. No, we got one more chunk of, actually, Temu box, ironically, right here to cut up. Yeah, this stuff is a lot harder to cut than it was at the beginning of this. I would infinitely prefer a wire clip over the normal one, like the one on the Tenacious. Like, it's not deep carry enough for me, and I don't know why they did that. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I don't know if the goal was to have a little bit of knife sticking out so it's easier to pull it out of your pocket or what, but I would infinitely prefer a deep carry wire clip. Like, the clip on the Tenacious works well enough, but I would infinitely prefer a fully deep carry clip. I don't like cutting this anymore. I'm going to retire this cardboard now. Good God, that's some effort. Yeah, no. No more. So we got something that's in the same family of thickness, but might be a little easier to cut. Jesus. While I do like the look of a wire clip, I've only got one, and that one is on the Growler V2. I will say the wire clip is a little bit more comfortable and works a little bit more easily. The retention's there, but it's easy to get into and back out of the waistband. Like, it does what I want it to. A bit easier than most other pocket clips that I have. I don't think it's a cost issue, because it's not like it really costs any extra just to put an extra bend in the clip. I think there's some utility to that I'm not aware of. This stuff is pretty hard to cut too. This is definitely starting to wear my wrist out a little bit. Yeah. Jesus Christ, this stuff's not fun to cut. All right, Rich, have a good one, man. Appreciate you dropping by. Jesus Christ, this stuff is hard to cut. Holy shit pickles. Yeah, I don't want to cut more of this with this knife. I mean, you know, there are plenty of high quality, more standard style pocket clips out there. I mean, they got that figured, they got how to make them figured out and all that. It's just the wire clip that I have, it's just wow. Okay. I think it's time to strop. I think we reached that point. This edge has definitely shown a lot more wear than the rest of them have. Which also means I wonder how well it'll strop back up. Yeah, so I may just spread the LEDs out on the floor. Apparently you get them far enough away and they do better. Which I got a couple more different colors down in the box, so I may just try to figure out how to make those do something cool. All right, so there is the black side done. Like I said, there's got to be some utility, and I'm sure if one of us looked it up, we'd figure it out pretty quickly. I just hadn't thought to like ask Google why they did that. Like Spydercos don't seem to be designed for aesthetic purposes to begin with. If I'm being honest, I don't think Spydercos are very pretty knives. I genuinely don't. Oh wow, this thing's getting really, really shiny off of the strop. So I think this may be the fastest we've had something dull out this much. And I don't remember which side I stropped first, so we're taking an extra swing at this side. I think I did this one first. Yeah, I did. All right, so we have stropped the daylights out of it. Let's see what we got. Okay, so I have to imagine this steel is particularly soft because that was a massive difference off of just a minute or two of stropping. Like, that's a much cleaner cut than what this one did right through here. Hungarian. Olecranon. What are these models of? They don't look like a. I know those aren't names of models that I've seen before. Who makes them? Okay, so yeah, this thing stropped back up almost immediately. Let's see if it'll shave. It's not stropping back up to shaving, but we saw how big of a difference that just made. I guess let's try another piece of this and see if it's better now. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay, so this steel is definitely the softest one we've done so far. Wow. Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were going with another brand or you were on Spyderco. I haven't heard of those models before, but that's not saying a whole lot. There's plenty of knives out there I don't know anything about. I cannot believe how quickly this thing dropped back up to being this sharp. God almighty. I bet you if I ran this through the Work Sharp grinder, the burr that came up would just be big ass snowflakes. I am almost entirely sure. I'm gonna look that up. I'm kind of interested. Yeah, I'm gonna break off of this for a minute and use my auxiliary phone to look on Amazon for the Spyderco, or look up the Spyderco police model, just see what it looks like. Jesus, what a difference! All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, I see what you're saying with the police model. That definitely is a bit more eye-pleasing than most of the Spydercos. And it does look like they're pretty old. Let me check Amazon and see if there's any of them on there. Okay, there's the Police 4, but oh my god, at the price. Yeah, no, I'd love to, but I can't. So the Police isn't totally discontinued. You can buy the Police 4, which looks like it's not too far off from the original. That being said, it's like 140 bucks. I really can't swing that on something right now. If I'm gonna spend the money on it, I'll probably buy like a paramilitary or something with a higher grade steel. Man, this stuff is hard to cut. Okay, I'm done with this piece. We're going over to some more standard cardboard now. Okay, that's 1,000,000% better. And I'm afraid before too much longer here, I'm just going to be totally out of boxes to cut up. Like, I know I can find some more, but I don't know how many more live streams I can get out of the boxes I have laying around. Okay, that is so much easier to cut. Yeah, I'd love to hit a lottery win like all of us. There's so many things I want to do. Let's see how this does sideways on this stuff. Not good. That was not the cut I was hoping for. I don't know how expensive tires are in your part of the world, but buying tires for my truck, which are standard passenger truck tires, those are like $1,000 for 4 of them. So what we're doing here is we got this Ozark trail knife from Walmart, and we're seeing how quick we can wear the edge out. I've already had to strop it once, and the steel's soft enough that it stropped back to a little bit better than factory, I think. So now we're just wearing it back out again. And we're shooting the shit and hanging out. I think the first thing I do if I win a lottery is definitely either buy a house with some land or buy some land and build the house I want on it, and get all that put together. And definitely have a full-size metal building with some really potent air conditioning and some good ventilation to set up like the blacksmithing shop and all that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when it's like 97 degrees outside and like 95% humidity, going out there and firing up a 2,000 degree box of fire and working next to it is so unpleasant. Okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. That's probably in line with what they cost here too. My life is devoid of motorcycles, so I'm not sure how much stuff costs for it, but 200 bucks sounds about right. Maxilla, hi, how's it going, man? We have gotten ourselves into discussions about Spyderco and such. Maxilla, what are you getting into today? I did. I said, hey, Maxilla, like twice. All right, yeah, you were looking for that one. Yeah, the only Spyderco I have right now is the Tenacious. If I buy another one, I'm saving up for a good Spyderco, like one of the higher end ones. Now, the Tenacious I do like. That is a well put together knife. My only gripe there with it is the pocket clip is not as deep of a carry as I'd like, and then the action on it's real stiff. However, stuff like that may be able to happen if my promotion at work ever comes through. That's going to be probably an extra 200 bucks a week on my check, between the available overtime and the small bump in pay that I get. So stuff like that may be able to happen a little bit more frequently. I'm not sure how much of that we need to cover bills and stuff to get ourselves back above water. Boy, it does not like cutting these seams out. God. I have a Spyderco. We're just talking about some of the nicer ones and what everybody has or what everybody wants right now. Like I said, I'm not sure which one I would buy. whenever I'm about to spend the money on it. I'll decide whenever I get there. It's like I know there are so many nice ones out there that it's not hard to pick a good one. I just lost track of my train of thought. Yeah, I'll decide which Spyderco I want when I get there. Dude, that is, yeah, I think you mentioned you had that much stuff earlier, Kicking. But yeah, I don't think any of us as kids were all that knowledgeable about brands. Like, if you're like 12, 13 years old and you know as much about knives as a full-grown collector does, like your family is like someone in your family, probably your dad, is a collector. And yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily that Spyderco is a super, super high-end brand, you know, especially if you're used to buying like $13, $15 knives. Maxilla, I don't let people send me stuff. That's not what this channel's about. Like, I'll get my own stuff and I'll take care of it. I said, I've already got a Tenacious. I've already got one. But yeah, when you're used to the sticker shock of seeing your first like $150 knife, like it definitely feels a lot more high end. And even for me, like $150 is still, you know, kind of high end. It's a little on the high end. And when I go looking for OTFs, I'm going to be taking a look at like probably Microtech and getting that stuff put together, or picking up a Microtech and playing with that. You know, and Microtech, that's going to be dropping a chunk of change. That's I think 200 to 400 bucks on the price of those, just for the baseline ones, not even for the special edition ones or the limited run ones. Crap. I forgot what I was gonna say. I said I'm kind of tired and out of it, and I am definitely not looking forward to waking up at 2 a.m. Like, I do enjoy my opening shifts, and you know, getting out of work at 1 p.m. Oh God, those custom knives get so expensive so fast. And that's one of the Facebook groups I'm in, is guys that deal with like higher end stuff like that, and they're selling stuff. You know, I've seen stuff listed for like 8,500 bucks, and like having made a couple of really crude knives, I can already see where that cost gets up there. I've seen what goes into one of my friends making like $400 and $500 knives. It's the number of hours it takes to do the number of hours it takes to make something like that by hand is nuts. Like, you're looking at a few hundred hours at least. You know, like that $4,000 is probably seriously undervaluing it, because I mean, you look at a couple hundred hours of work for, you know, what you would expect to pay for like skilled labor, like 35 bucks an hour. You know, that racks up really fast, and these guys are underselling them because you really can't get what they're actually worth as far as the time, materials, and skills invested. Fook. So it's already dulled out and had to be stropped up once, but with a minute or two on the strop, it got back to factory sharp. So this steel is definitely soft. I'd really like to know what steel they used, because of course the packaging has zero markings on what the steel actually is. Like there's nothing indicated on the package. No, and I mean, it's a $5 knife. They could admit that it came from fucking Pakistani bumper steel, and you know, it's still, the value's still there because it's $5. You know, so it's not like they couldn't get away with like saying what the steel actually is. Like, where did they manage to buy 1CR4 steel? It's probably about time we check the edge on some paper. Go away. Go away. I think 440 might be a bit optimistic. Okay, so it's still good right now. I'd say at best you got 420 HC. I don't know how much cheaper it can possibly get. You know, it could very easily be that. You know, it still trips me out a little bit that even with the blade steel being, you know, a bit lower quality, they can still pull axis lock, polypropylene scales, I believe is what it's got. You know, this pocket clip and the blade and the frame for $5. I mean, just a pocket clip like this can easily go for well over $5 by itself. You know, so the softer steel isn't necessarily condemning the knife. It's just, you know, you start to see where that low price tag shows up. You know, I'm carrying my other Ozark Trail Axis lock for, you know, the review in a couple days now. And, you know, that one's a bit more interesting because I think carrying it in my environment and using it regularly, it probably would have to be sharpened before too terribly long. You know, that definitely interests me. I think that's the softest steel that we've had so far out of anything that we've tested. Bro, I still want that blue one from the holiday pack that no Walmart near me had. Like, I'll probably check eBay and see if they have one just to kind of round out the collection. Just because that one looks like it's also the best one out of the bunch. Like, and I think I missed out on at least one store that had them just because they had them out in the garden center and not in sporting goods. And there's no way to guess that that's where they are. There's just not. Okay, it's like after this. Hey, it's back up. All right. No, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I guess my 5G. Yeah, panic. I'm back. I'm guessing 5G just wasn't happy, so I switched over to Wi-Fi. Um, but yeah, we're back. I have no idea what I was saying before the signal went either. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, that gift set. Um, they hid that thing, and I missed out on that completely. So I'll probably check eBay and see if there's one popping up there for cheap enough. I don't feel like spending, 25 bucks on a $5 knife. So that may just be one that got away. Right? I think this was all supplied by the Box Ghost. Like the Box Ghost just makes these things so that they can send them out. Pretty sure that's how cardboard's made. And then they send the cardboard out by the barrel to various places. So like the UPS store, they'll get a barrel full of cardboard. Walmart to get a barrel full of cardboard. I think that's how it works. Pretty sure. And then their customer service is a genie that grants boxes. I'm not scared of big cardboard. Bring it on. Yeah. The customer service for cardboard is you rub the lamp of the genie. You now receive 3 cardboard. Like I don't know what to do with all this shredded cardboard right now. I'm in one of those states where I don't know whether or not it's okay to burn stuff. Even though I've got like a small pit that would be perfect for this. And I don't want to get in trouble because I'm in a subdivision. I'm not like out in the sticks. So I may look and see if it's okay to burn in this part of the state. And try to get the stuff burned and get rid of it. And I also don't know how much longer I'll have boxes to cut up. It's like I thought I had a crap ton more of them, and I'm starting to pull stuff from the box, starting to pull stuff from the pile upstairs, and it's starting to run real thin. Yeah, I need both the ammo genie and the shooting range time genie to visit my house. Like, I haven't been to a shooting range in years. I'm sure my grouping is garbage by now. And I miss shooting. Well, you'll ask the genie for ammo, and it'll send you steel case 22 long rifle or steel cased 25. All right, so that's a bunch more cardboard sliced up. Let's see where we're at on the paper. I thought 2 sheets of this paper would be enough, but it's not All right, so the cut's still good right now. We haven't destroyed the edge a second time. So that is a reasonably clean cut so far. It's holding up okay, but we also haven't gone through a full hour of slicing stuff up. Because I think last time it took about an hour to put that much wear on it. And of course we were cutting some super crazy hardcore stuff. Let's go back in on this stuff. I hate cutting it. It sucks. Oh, I hate cutting this. It sucks. Yeah, I got to figure out a way to set up multiple of those LED lights down on the floor. I like the glow down there. I like the way that looks, and I like the way it lights up and goes out. So what do you guys think that you would end up doing if you had the opportunity to design your own knife? Because like I give that some thought occasionally, and I kind of already know, like, if I design something, I'd be gunning for the $35 to $45 range just to make it accessible, and then I'd have to figure out how to make it unique. So like you're definitely looking at like 9CR or something like that on the steel. I'd probably go for an axis lock with an additional flipper tab. What else would I do? I'm not sure what the hell this came from, but let's cut it up. This might have been a book or something like that. And of course, this one ain't going to cut as good as the others because it's weird. All right, this already sucks. What the hell's wrong with this cardboard? Yeah, this cardboard is garbage. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is I'm not sure where I'd begin, because it's also kind of hard to, like, you know, come up with a design that, you know, someone hasn't already done like a crap load of times. 'Cause I mean, like, there's only so many different ways you can design a knife. You know, and especially, this isn't Temu cardboard, it's something from Amazon. I don't know what the hell could have possibly been in here. It might have been like a book or something like that. This is just a really weird piece. And it does not like being cut. The knife edge isn't gone a second time yet. Last time it took an hour and some really, really nasty cardboard. which is still significantly faster than anything else is worn out yet. Yeah. No, big cardboard got me. They got me. I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure there's a beige car in the driveway. Some guy in the back like, yeah, give him the bad cardboard, see? Yeah, bad cardboard. Yeah, Muggsy's gonna give you bad cardboard, see? And you're gonna like it. Yeah, see? Yeah, give him the cardboard that's been sleeping with the fishes, see? Yeah. Yeah, it's like an anaconda in a fishbowl, see? Muggsy had to flush twice. Yeah, see? It was a huge shit, see? Yeah, it's like a baby root bar in a shot glass, see? Muggsy had to flush twice. Yeah, it was a huge shit, see? I am unfamiliar with Edward G. Robinson. I just know that I get a lot of laughs out of the terrible Cagney. And for some reason, the "it was a huge shit seed" joke tends to work out really well. I don't know if it's just it sends people's minds somewhere they didn't want it to go or what, but it has been a consistent crowd pleaser. Yeah, it was like forcing a loaf of bread through a garden hose, see? Muggsy had to flush twice. Yeah, it was a huge shit, see? Like, the wife absolutely hates it when I do that. Like, her imagination is way too vivid. So, like, she gets a very, very clear, involuntary mental picture out of that. Oh no, she generally likes my humor. That's kind of part of why she found me interesting in the first place. You know, and like my sense of humor used to be a lot crazier than it is now. Like, I've been calming down as I get older, which I think happens to everybody. Don't get me wrong, I still make plenty of good jokes. You know, it's not as rapid fire, and of course I'm not in environments where, you know, it's okay to make a lot of the jokes that I make. But no, she genuinely does not like all of my sense of humor. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like, it depends on who I'm hanging out with, and you know, a lot of times now I'm not hanging out with anybody outside my house. It's go to work, go home, go to sleep. You know, and when I'm at work and I got coworkers who are technically subordinate to me, it gets kind of hard to really make the good jokes. You know, the jokes that are so funny HR wants to hear them too. Oh yeah, butts and balls will always be kind of funny. If farts ever quit being funny, please kill me. God, what an annoying piece of cardboard. Yeah, I mean, the whole knife design thing, I know where I was going with that. There's a channel called EDC Vibes. He was working on a brand he called Sage, S-A-J-E, and he was working on a design called the Rango, and he put it up on, I think, Kickstarter, and it didn't even come close to meeting its goal, so I think that died on the vine. You know, and I look at that, and that really tempers my excitement. Like, you know, before I'd be comfortable trying to put together a knife design, I'd really, really have to have a huge following or something to justify it. You know, it's not like I'm really going to be the one that goes from making custom knives to, you know, trying to design knives for Kajerb or Kirk. Yeah, I've gone through raising 2 kids. No more for me. No more. One of my biggest fears is always having the kids grown up, out of the house, doing their own thing, college, work, and the like, and then hearing, "Honey, I'm late." Like, no. Oh, kids are expensive, dear God. Like, the second you quit buying diapers, it's like you suddenly have a second income in the house. And time for the medication that will have me a bit too shot out to function by 6 p.m. And now, gentlemen, we are on a timer. No, so it's Seroquel to do some mood stabilizing to cope with PTSD, and also, it's one of the reasons I can sleep more than 2 hours a night right now. The stuff I cope with comes with a side effect of profound insomnia most of the time. Come on, cut apart, damn you. Muscle relaxers are kind of a no-go. Like, I really wish I could still get prescribed Flexeril. Flexeril was a non-narcotic muscle relaxer that I used to take every night that helped with a lot of back pain and stuff like that, and also put me to sleep without any other profound side effects. Like, I love that stuff, and then like what is it? A doctor's assistant, whatever the hell they're called, I can't remember. PA, physician's assistant, saw me instead of my doctor, and then she's like, "Yeah, I don't like you being on this stuff for that long. I'm taking you off it." And it's like, you son of a motherless goat. I think that's where the insomnia really started. Josh, what's up? Is I lost the Flexeril that was helping with sleep, and I didn't have anything to replace it, and I never quite got over it. I never quite got the hang of going back to sleep. And then whenever we rode the pandemic out that first year and some change, just waiting at home for the vaccine, I had no reason to go to sleep at a certain time. So it's like I'd put the PS4 up, I'd shut that down, I'd go lay down for a couple hours, I'd get back up, go get back on the PS4, go to sleep for a couple hours, and just kind of cycle back and forth through that, and it really ruined me. God, I wish Destiny 2 hadn't been ruined by Bungie. I'm still a bit salty because they're like, it's Activision's fault. We're going to fix it as soon as we break off from Activision. No, they made it worse. I'm sure plenty of people are still playing, but man, they messed up bad. They really destroyed a wonderful thing they had going. I haven't gotten into Warframe. Destiny 2 got replaced by Rocket League for a while. That became incredibly frustrating because if like you're trying to queue in and you want to play on a team, like I prefer playing threes. If you don't have a team with you, it's an absolute slog of a nightmare to play. And the guys I had that played were, you know, either really cracked and had me in lobbies I had no business being in, or were absolutely terrible and didn't want to work on getting better, even though they didn't like continually losing matches. Like they wouldn't do what, like a friend of mine was coaching us, trying to get us better, and you know, one of my guys just would not listen. And yeah, randos fucking suck. But you know, we'd tell him what we needed out of him and what he needed to work on. He's like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. It's like, all right, well, we're going to keep losing every single time we play. You know, it's like, the one thing I love is a couple of times I've been in tournaments and we're in the last round of the tournament playing for either first or second place. And I've been doing my part and really helping the other guy out that I was with. You know, I was taking care of the goal, scoring points on occasion. And then we get to the last round and he dropped. So it'd be me by myself taking on the other team that was at the top of the championship pile. And it's just like, are you kidding me right now? So we need a loss. And then one time we had a game where we get to the last round and the other guy's teammate dropped. I had one of my guys with me. I wasn't with a rando. And his teammate dropped. So he was left alone. And we kept scoring like every 40, like every time the ball dropped, one of us would score and we took turns. And the dude starts telling us to stop scoring. Like he's telling us, stop scoring. It's like, because you said that, we're scoring more now. Sorry. And I totally missed handing out candy on Halloween because we wrapped that game up right as like the last 3 kids came through and it was still daylight. Right? Everyone's just like, oh, video games. Nope, I'm out. And we got 7 people in here. Like, we got more people that could be in the chat. Like, if you're watching, I hope you're having a good day, for sure. But feel free to jump in the chat with your 2 cents. I mean, just about every live stream we wind up talking about games anyways. Like I got stuck in Fortnite for a while, and I enjoy playing that. That being said, I need to be with people at about my skill level so I can enjoy the MMR that puts me where I'm supposed to be. Because that's, again, I got some friends that are absolutely cracked, and they pull me into lobbies I have no business being in. And a couple of them keep expecting me to play as well as they do in these lobbies that I have no business being in. And having not had the time to develop any real fundamentals or real skill. And that got worn out. The game itself is fun, but not having a good team that, you know, keeps you in the lobbies that you're supposed to be in at your skill level gets difficult and frustrating. All right, cardboard. Let's fight getting you cut off. Oh yeah, no. My reflexes ain't that good either. You know, when I was playing Destiny 2, going into that PvP, for the longest time, my KD would be 2.0 to 3.0, depending. And I carried a lot of the teams I was on. And believe me, I took many screenshots because I hadn't been playing FPS that long. But yeah, they definitely aren't where they used to be. Like I tried picking up like Street Fighter again a while back, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm terrible at this now. I know I used to be pretty good. You know, one of the reasons I don't play online is, you know, again, I'd be getting my shit pushed in so fast I wouldn't have time to learn anything. And of course, playing the computer in arcade mode does nothing to teach you what you need to know for playing online. It's like the skill curve is just a straight line going up. Let's see where our edge is now. It's showing where now. Those cuts are starting to get loud again. Yeah, there's definitely significant wear there now. It's still cutting cardboard all right, but it's starting to make noise again. Apparently, you got about an hour of Cardboard Slayer before this thing starts wearing out real good. And this is now 2 layers of cardboard. Yeah, this box is just so weirdly put together. The action is not okay. It is not. This action, I had to take this apart and do a lot of grinding in the channel where the axis lock rides to get it to work smoothly. And even then, it's not 100%. Right about here, if you're not pulling the lock back, it feels like it's grinding because the top of this channel is so rough. I didn't quite get all of it. But yeah, so the way the channel was designed, there was a... Let's see where the pin is. Or not the way it was designed, the way it was cut. So this is what the channel is supposed to look like, give or take. You know, and the axis lock rides in here. So that's what it's supposed to be. And instead, it was a... It was shaped more like a... So that's what it should be, and this is kind of what it was shaped like. It was stamped out really badly. And it didn't work right. Yes, people were going nuts for it because it was a $5 axis lock. And one of the reasons I do stuff like this is guys would do reviews where they took it out of the box and they'd flipper tab it open, and then they'd close it two-handed like this. And they'd be like, yeah, this is great, because they'd open it like 5 times on camera. And the way they did it, there was no way to really feel what was going on, because you pulled the axis lock and open it, and it hit that point and stopped right here. And unless you let go of the lock and use the flipper tab, it wasn't getting past this point. So I had to take it apart and grind it. And like, that was pretty much every single one that was produced. Every single one had that problem. So whatever they were stamping it out with was messed up, and quality control just did not catch it. And I have made mention of that in the comments of many channels. Yeah, the other one I have, the one with the blue pivot collar, that one works fine. I just had to back the pivot screw up a little bit. This one had some serious problems out of the box, manufacturing issues, and it's a QC didn't catch it. And all the guys that did their reviews just flipping it open a couple times and closing it, and then going, yeah, these are great, get them for your family. I made sure to point that out in their comments. And only one channel actually responded and said, okay, yeah, I see that problem now, thanks for pointing it out. Everybody else did not respond to it, which they may be channels doing what you're supposed to do if you're a larger creator on YouTube and not reading the comments at all. But I think it's just they didn't really want to go through and do a retraction or clear that up. Yeah, it's, again, like, I'm assuming there's got to be some kind of basic QC before they go out the door. Then again, there might be no QC, because they let the entire production run of these things out the door, and they all had the same problem. It wasn't just mine. Only one guy I talked to said it worked smoothly, and I don't know if he actually used the axis lock, you know, the way we use axis locks to do that with it. You know, I think he was just flipper tab open and then axis lock closed two-handed. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing Cardboard Slayer with this one right now. I can't really carry this and give it a fair review, having had to go in and work on it. You know, the work I put into it negates doing a fair review. However, tomorrow after work, Beefer Baron! Tomorrow after work, I can do a video talking about how the blade steel performed, at the very least, so I can get something out of this. I just can't do a fair review, a fair full review on it. However, those issues will also be discussed whenever I do the video about the steel. I don't think I have Bob Evans around here. I did stop at one in Ohio when I was at Quad State. It was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. So what we're doing here, Beefer, is we're going in on this Ozark Trail, and so far the edge wore down after about an hour, so much that I had to strop it, and then it stropped back up to pretty much factory sharp in no time. We are into the second hour, and it's starting to show that same kind of wear again. So once this piece is done, I'm probably going to have to strop it again. But I appreciate you dropping by, Beefer. Do I have a Harbor Freight near me? Or are you asking somebody in the comments? Oh, yeah. No, I got Harbor Freight nearby. Why? What's up? Give me 1 second. would you happen to be talking about this one right here? Because I have done several videos on this one. I am absolutely blown away by it. I love this knife. Yeah. This one had a ton of hype in my Facebook groups for about a month. And I didn't really see the point, didn't really get it. $10 knife, who cares? But whew. Also, I did a playlist. I figured out how to make a playlist. So Super Budget Showdown Season 1 and Season 2 have their own playlist now. And this one showed up in the Super Budget Showdown Season 1. So yeah, that one has had, I think it's shown up in at least 5 different videos. It's had coverage on the channel, but that was also back when the channel was, I think, under 500 subscribers by quite a bit. So, oh, that's nice. $6. So yeah, if you're at Harbor Freight and you do want like a $10 knife, this is absolutely the one to get. And this is why I'm saying, like, if we had this kind of thing on, if we had this on bearings from Walmart for $5, people would lose their minds. I mean, totally, completely lose them. Okay, let's check on paper. Oh, no, don't apologize for that. Like, it's kind of hard to go through a channel that you found and go through all their backlog. A lot of that is, you know, if you're really interested in going back and looking, by all means, but the playlist for the Super Budget Showdown and Temugeddon, I'm actually kind of proud of those series. Like, I put work into those things, and like, a lot of those videos peaked out at around 75 views, which, I mean, you can't be really hurt by it, because, I mean, you got a channel that's like, you know, you got a channel that's, you know, a year-ish old, and at that point it was a few months old. You know, you can't really expect that many views on a video, but like, I was really hoping maybe that would take off. It's like Temugeddon, that didn't draw the views that I'd hoped for either. But I think I may be a bit late to the game to a bit late to the game for the Temu name to really pull a lot of extra views. Like I said, there's 2 playlists on the channel now, so you should be able to find them real easy. It took me forever to figure out how to put a playlist together for something like that. So I need to take a look through the channel now and see if there are other playlists I need to make. I'm not entirely sure what I need, but at least now I know how to do that. So when the 3rd season of Super Budget Showdown starts happening, I can get that put together quickly instead of having it sit for months on end. Because I think the thing said that season 1 of the Showdown was like 4 or 5 months ago. But yeah, there are a couple, like the Gordon knife took 3rd place out of the pack, and you know, again, it's all sub $15 knives, $15 or less. And yeah, oh, you definitely want to check out the winners of the 1st season. Like, 1st and 2nd place are absolute bangers. They're so good. We're not quite at strop again yet. Yeah, I like finding good cheap knives too. You know, and part of that's the kind of money I have to spend on it. And I just think it's interesting seeing how good cheap knives are getting, you know. Like, this steel is handling more like the old 440 that I'm used to, you know, that I got used to when I was a lot younger. And still, like, the technology on it's so much better. Like, the axis lock and the flipper tab by themselves already blow, you know, all the old lockbacks and stuff that I had out of the water. Yeah, the season 3 of the Super Budget Showdown, I'm hoping to find something that can beat out basically first, second, and third place on the first season. It was like the Team Mugeddon stuff. That still didn't really come close to touching the podium on season 1. It just didn't. Yep, the Crescent Knife is a fucking banger, dude. Yeah, the Crescent Knife took second place in the showdown. If you want a good cheap knife, you definitely need to grab one. You'll want that, and you'll want the first place knife. You really want the first place knife. So the Crescent Knife with, I don't know if it's G10 or FRN or polypropylene, I don't know, but the black one, that one should be about $12. If you spend an extra $1 for like $13, you can get one with aluminum scales, which I keep looking at, and I'm like, I should get that, but then I realize I'm probably not going to carry it anytime in the near future. So it's kind of a waste of money. I've already got one, and there's no reason to carry the same thing with different scales. It's kind of part of why I have a few different knives from each maker instead of like one maker where I bought everything they've ever made. I think whether or not they count is a case-by-case basis. Like, I don't think I'd have a problem here ordering something. It's just right now I know we need the money more in the bank account and going towards bills than we need to have going on knives. So I can hold off on that and keep searching for some of the budget stuff to set up for the to get for the channel while I wait. I was talking to EDC Zone in his comments. Today's pocket check was an M-Tech, and oof, ouch, mechanic bill. But he did an M-Tech for his pocket check today, and I looked at that and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should pick up an M-Tech and run that through a Cardboard Slayer on a live stream and see how well that holds up. It's like, I really look down on M-Tech. I look down on M-Tech and Tac Force. Really look down on them. Yeah, I mean, I've got one M-Tech and it's shaped like a pistol, and I got it because it was funny. That's the thing, is like, I'm kind of curious to see if me looking down on them that much is justified. It's like, honestly, a lot of the designs I don't like, and I really don't like the tip down carry, but at the end of the day, the blade steel and the edge retention is kind of what matters the most. If it cuts well and holds an edge, then the aesthetics are take it or leave it depending on who you are. If you got a knife with great aesthetics that has crap blade steel, it needs to go in the trash can. If you got a knife with bad aesthetics but has great blade steel, that is significantly better. Yeah, I haven't had enough M-Techs to see them fall apart on me. I said the only one I got hasn't really been used. As a matter of fact, let me grab it right now. It's like within reach. I was wrong. It's not M-Tech. But I've got this. This is Tac Force. This is another one that I really look down on. But this is what I got, and you can see why I bought this. I bought it because it's funny. I was gonna buy a revolver, like they had this, and they had one that looked like a revolver. I was gonna get the revolver one, but Amazon took them down before I could get one. I don't know if they just saw a gun shaped and they're like, "Oh no, we can't have that. Think of the children." But oh, see the ergos here. Actually, if you're doing drag cuts for packages and stuff, the ergos are fantastic. Like this is great for, doing these pull cuts. And if you're doing like a straight push in, this is not bad at all. Like a 90-degree handle to a blade can be pretty potent. However, if you're trying to do anything besides a punch cut or a drag, ain't that good. So yeah, and I got that one right after I set up an Amazon account back in like 2012, I think. Okay, this thing is starting to struggle cutting, so let's see what we got for an edge. All right, still doing decent, but the cuts are still starting to get kind of raggedy. Okay, so we got about 45 more minutes and some more cardboard we can cut up. So we're gonna keep going. My wrist is so happy with me right now. Yeah, so here it is. So yeah, and I do have a cheap M-Tech that I've picked out that has both a plain edge, a lock, and a tip-up pocket clip, which is just kind of their version of the Joker the Joker knife from The Dark Knight Rises or whatever. And I think it's like $9. So I can actually buy that. I can carry it. I can do a review after using it. And then put it through Cardboard Slayer and see how it handles that. Name a car for an Eddie. I have no idea what you're asking for there. But yeah, I can't see the value of swapping out a pivot pin and filing down a burr on a lock for something like that. Even though I have done more work on a piece of crap, it's even at $5, having to put that kind of work into a knife out of the box is unacceptable. Yeah, that's one of the things that really irks me with the really cheap stuff like that is the pocket clips are always garbage. They're the ones that lay super flat and can't clip over anything without getting bent way out of shape. And they're often mounted very poorly. And of course, I forget how fast these meds set in. I can already feel myself starting to slow down. I was on a larger dose a few months ago now. And that one, those pills took about an hour and a half to set in. And this one starts kicking in about 40 minutes. Oh yeah, I've said it before, man. There's gas station knives and stuff like MTech and Tac Force where I'd love to have far higher quality versions of them. I wouldn't want to spend like $150 or something like that on it, but something in the $35-$50 range with ball bearings, all the joys of modern cheap knives. That would be really, really entertaining. Oh boy. Come on. All right, still going. The dollar store knife, that thing is 90% serration, and it is so dull that I would have to work to cut myself on it. I don't really have a great way to test that one. If it was a plain edge, I'd be all over it. I would sharpen that and get it working. But again, I don't have a great way to test serrations. And I'm not sure how I'd go about testing that one out. The handle on that feels solid enough that I would use it if it had a plain edge. Like, I think when I bought it, I don't remember. It may have been packaged closed and I couldn't see the serrations, or I couldn't find one with a plain edge. But yeah, the Dollarca is just a dust gatherer now. You know what? This thing is having a really hard time cutting. Let me grab another piece of copy paper. We're going to strop this thing and see how quickly it turns back up. Yeah. I thought 2 pieces was going to do it. I thought 2 pieces of copy paper would be enough. But it ain't. Alright, I just crop dusted myself, guys. Please kill me. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, we're definitely. Aha! I'm immune from consequences, Foop. I may not be rich, but I have control over this live stream. And dear God, meds are setting in hard. I am starting to fall apart fast. This may end up getting curbed a little early because I am starting to get too dysfunctional to be doing this safely. So we'll strap this guy up and then we'll wrap the live stream up once we do a couple of cuts with it. I am starting to struggle hard. Yeah, you're right. I don't feel like if I do cut myself doing this, it's going to be a bad cut. As hard as I'm pushing down on this stuff, it's going to be bad. That being said, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, I'll do a live stream and I can start earlier and stick around a bit longer. So we can have a weekend live stream. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at Temu one last time and look at getting a new strop and some diamond compound and testing that out and see how it works. Like I said, I have to assume diamond compound's diamond compound. You know, the only thing that you're looking at is possibly the microns not all being the same size or that uniform. You know, you might have some 5 micron, you might have some 7s, you might have some 4s. All right, let's wipe this thing down and see how she do. Yeah, so this drop has just got some black and white buffing compound from Harbor Freight worked onto it. And let's see. Yeah, you can see how shiny that edge got off of that. Like it stropped up and mirror polished in no time. Yeah, so I mean it's dropped back up good. It's not perfect. I think I finally wore the edge down enough where it's not dropping back to brand new. It did not like that cut. But yeah, it's dropped back up pretty damn nice, pretty damn fast. So yeah, that steel is quite soft. I mean, I'd still carry it and use it, but that steel is quite soft. So we're gonna wrap the stream up here. I'm starting to fall apart. I need to go upstairs and chill. But everybody that's here, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and watching. Keep an eye out Sunday, and we're gonna go in on this goofiness right here, and I want to see if I can wear the finish off of the blade. And this is tip down, and I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. But thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. Thanks. Thanks, Suave.